It is spring to summer period. The trees are blossoming. Everybody is shading off the heavy wear. The jackets are off and everybody is shining bright like the golden province of Gauteng. Welcome to Gauteng Lifve, your premier platform where we speak, share everything about the visitor economy in the golden province of Gauteng. My name is Barba Gaoganediwe, your champion host. And as we continue to shine a spotlight on taste and change makers in our province, the people that in their nature are not just South African and Gauteng icons, but they are global icons. And in this episode, it's no different. I'm joined by our special guest who just decided to cut his international showcase short just to be on this platform. And that's how very much we revere and honor you, David, the iconic award-winning doctor, and everything else that I could say. David Tlale, welcome to Gauteng Life.
Thank you for having me.
How does it feel to be called with a name and a surname? Like, I always get fascinated when everybody calls you Barba Gaoganediwe. Like, just when you say David.
But how else would you have it? I mean, there's so many Davids out there. There's only one David Tlale.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes sense because you're appropriating the name to the face. So
absolutely,
it feels good.
Yeah. And definitely, I guess, two probably world-famous Davids. The biblical David and David and David Tlale. David, here we chat about how our spaces and places are shaping up and how as people influences the spaces and the places we live. But we want to take it a little bit back. Early days in Foslo, you were moving in the streets. Probably back then with what was happening, quite different Foslo from now. But you will want to take us through that and probably maybe those early days shaped how you started your outlook to life and fashion.
Growing in Foslo has been just nothing but amazing because, when you grow up in a township, you're growing up in a place of culture, tradition, color, and also being home and knowing that your neighbor or the mother next door as your neighbor, she's your mother.
100.
And the girl next door, the guy next door, he is your brother and she's your sister. And it's a form of community. And really growing up there, I think it had everything to do with who I am and my outlook to life. And also how I interpret my inspiration, also I would say the creative direction of a collection, because I was raised in a Christian family, and every Sunday we had to put on our Sunday best
attires,
exactly.
Yeah.
And then not only that, we come back home, there's 7 colors.
Yes,
it was always beautiful, and I take those influences seriously because we had the swankers, we had the hippies, we had everything, all the influences and inspiration that you could get from a township, and it's really, really beautiful. But I think backtracking is being raised during a transition from apartheid into democracy, and how we look at life today. So much has changed, and for the fact that some of my family members or relatives actually died during the struggle. And you look at it today and how do young people not actually celebrate and appreciate the journey that we have walked,
went through,
and went through, and also as a generation that kind of paved the way for many, I would say, creative spaces that are alive today and thriving. And I think it's always important that those messages are related and we are reminded. I'm not saying we should go back.
Yes.
Let us be reminded of where we come from so that we can appreciate the beauty that we have right now as citizens of Gauteng. And also for me, being raised in Vosloorus, finished my primary school, Goditomo Primary School, go to Tutolisedi High School, and finish my matric there. And understanding the difference between Bantu education and the Model C education. I've seen both worlds, and I've seen how actually people actually relate to such. And would I change anything today, or would I choose to have been raised anywhere else? No, I wouldn't.
And I guess our townships, like you are saying, it's a microcosm of our society, because you have another 2 blocks away a house with the big windows,
of course,
which we admired then, and then somebody who runs a bottle store, a shop. There's a double story, and then the front opposite, and the lingo. We even changed the English
and make a township, of course.
Back opposite. I still don't know now what is back opposite.
Back opposite or front opposite, or next door or next door.
Yes.
Yeah, and also being changed your name. I mean, I've been called Mdava for many, many years instead of just David, like Mdava, so those are like beautiful things that you cannot actually take away from being raised in a township.
So and especially in the East back then, your Katlehong, your Vosloorus, your Bipatong areas.
Bipatong is in,
on the other side,
That like Guatema, Springs, Tembisa,
Davidton in particular. Each has a very unique history, and I was talking to the guys running Davidton Tourism Association, and we're looking at those old Chevy's cars, Mapela.
Yeah.
You remember, and one big seat in the front and at the back, and and beyond the fashion magazine or photo shoots, how do we turn these into existing experiences? You can imagine getting in there, hiring this out, and doing a Katoras a tour. I don't think you can even put a price for such a tour.
And I think it's also part of reawakening Black consciousness and being proud of growing up in a township.
Yeah.
And how do we now, that's why I say earlier on, we need to tell these stories again in a most appropriate manner today, because the way we live now, it's totally different how we lived then.
Absolutely.
I mean, if you had to go around anywhere, you'd have to take a bus or a minibus taxi, and those were only for modes of transportation.
Yeah.
And then now we got the smaller taxis, Mapela.
Yeah.
And then now there's like the other, the hailing services e-hailing. Yeah. So I think if you can, like, I would say it is also, culture reappropriation. Because, my mom was a domestic worker, but every time she went to work, she looked the part.
Yeah.
Utlokena mo basing ya partco then, but looking very
fabulous.
Sharp.
Yeah,
but
sharp.
not only her, but many of them, all our moms,
Yes.
when they went to work, they made an effort. Changes, get into the overall. Chile time, goes, showers, get dressed again, makeup, lipstick, everything.
Ready.
And when you see this lady or even this gentleman, you'd be like, I wonder what office they work in.
Yes.
And here they are going to work in
another person's
house and making sure that at least we get fed from that.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So I think we need to kind of like reappropriate or realign or just like retell these stories, how actually we were raised as a, I wouldn't say we are not the new generation, the other generation.
But my mom used to tell me, you can imagine, so every time you get out of the house, make sure you look the part, because what if you collapse there and people need to carry you? Like they don't know whether you are a dead or is a human being. So Dave, moving now and enrolling at VUT, and I guess at that time, many didn't even, and I guess even still today, we still have this challenge of what is regarded as traditional universities, but you decided to go to VUT, enroll there. Later on, it became, you became a lecturer there. That just shows, and knowing you, for you to be in one place at the same time, there should have been something very special there, because,
I think it's I mean, even before VUT, for those who don't know, it's Val University of Technology. And I went to Sotlhelo Technikon to go study internal auditing.
So you were there?
I was there for like about 9 months. Where I was staying in another res. But then during Dinako Zabo Mokobiane and everything else, Mangobe,
Yes,
it was
yeah.
like very, very
Very
dramatic.
tough,
Because
yeah.
this was like 1993.
I know that. I think he passed on.
He
The
did,
Mukibani,
Mokobiane,
yeah, he was very notorious.
No, he was the most horrible person,
Yeah,
especially for black people
absolutely.
who were trying to just become something in life. And during those times, it was really tough, because here you are transitioning from we were still not in a democratic country then.
Yeah.
And fast forward to 1994, then I moved to the Vaal University, and many battles that we had to fight, of language, English being the medium of lecturing or teaching, and then also having to sit with a Caucasian student, same class, and speaking the same language and having to understand the same subjects and make sure that you do well. You come from a township school, you don't understand what creative sector is about, but you have to push yourself to make sure that you get there.
There's financial exclusions there.
Absolutely.
There's all manner of things.
Everything. And I look at, like young people today, like, oh no, that wasn't our battles. Someone had to fight those battles for you to have it easy today. 100. And I'm not bashing the young people. I think it's all great, but it's very important to always respect your adults.
100.
Because you don't know what they went through so that you can sit in that golden chair.
Absolutely.
So for me is that when we get to the Vaal, there was a lot of mind shift that had to happen, because I had to see myself as part of this movement. I always tell this story. When we started in fashion school, there was 50 of us, black, white, colored, and Indian. Yeah. And then in our second year, there was 12 of us. And there was then about 4 or 5 black students, and the rest were Caucasian. Yeah. And then third year, there was 3 white girls and me. Yeah. And then
so the numbers keep dropping
every year,
but also because very few black people, therefore the drop drastically affect the black people that are there.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a black thing. It's a choice thing, because I came from an accounting space with zero creativity. Yeah. And I had to work harder, 10 times harder than the other students to make sure that I prove myself. Not only that, I had pressure from home. My mom was like, I'm not going to have a son that makes clothes. Yeah. My church community, they were like, but
do you think that will have been necessarily a lack of creativity or just access to opportunity and being allowed to be who you are? I'm looking at how, and I agree with you, it's not a black-white thing, but just how white kids are being raised and allowed space to be. So isn't it just an opportunity to be allowed to be who you are that ultimately shapes your passion moving forward?
I think when we look at the era that we were raised, our parents, all they knew was being a teacher, a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer. Yeah. Those were the thriving industries.
Police person.
And police, and all the traditional I would say, educational spaces. And I knew that I had a bigger responsibility. Yes, there were other friends of mine or even fellow students that were already in fashion, black ones and everything else, but I knew that I had a special calling to say, I need to prove it to myself. I need to prove it to my family. I need to inspire that young boy and girl in Vosloorus to say, one day I want to be like David Tlale. Yeah. So that went beyond everything else. Because you remember when you're at university, anything is permitted. Yeah. There's no parent who's checking you. You've done your homework or you go to class, you're on your own. Yeah. And all those choices we make ourselves. Yeah. And I'm grateful for the choices that I made, because fast forward, I am David Tlale. Yeah. Even then, I was still David Tlale, but now I am David Tlale, the brand. And when you spoke about, we were talking about when you are in the Vaal, and now there is this lecturing thing that just fell on my lap. I graduated. I was about to graduate that year, but they were like, okay, we have someone that's going on a maternity leave. Would you like to come and fill up the space? I did. And 4.5 years later, I was still filling up for someone to go give birth. And
but I guess that was your influence also, because remember, you were part of almost establishing that faculty.
Absolutely.
Therefore, you earn your stripes.
Yeah.
But equally coming from the university community, you being a student, so there's no better person who can relate with students than you, I guess.
And I also think that the willpower
Yeah.
and it was played a major role, and also being kind of like a silent activist
Yeah.
for blackness.
Yeah.
It played a major role as well.
A very loud, silent activist.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
very.
I guess because there's no way David can be silent. So let's put it in proper
Well,
context.
a silent activist, but very loud,
Loud, yes.
and saying we're going to fight for our survival and also our growth in this industry. Because I remember, just like before we wrap up the university part, when I was in first year, our textile lecturer was reading very badly from an English textile,
Yeah.
a book, and then she was making examples and explaining everything in Afrikaans. I was like, we are not going to have this.
Yeah.
And I was very vocal about it, like, this is not going to happen. If that's what you're going to be doing, get me a Zulu or a Sotho or a Xhosa lecturer to do the same thing for me. Who was called to the office? I was.
Exactly.
And I was sitting there. They were like, no, but the problem is that they've been lecturing here and they speak Afrikaans. I'm like, I don't speak Afrikaans.
Can't even understand.
I don't understand
comprehend.
it.
Yeah.
But remember when we were in high school and primary, we had to do Afrikaans.
No, for sure.
I come from a family, a colored family.
Yeah.
We speak Saver Afrikaans as well.
Okay.
But the main thing was like, it was not only about me, it was the rest of us.
Absolutely.
And making sure that there is no preferential treatment that other people get. And from there, the movement kind of like started.
Yeah.
And everything that had to be done, it had to be conducted in English as a medium of instruction or anything else.
Yeah.
And I think from then, that's when my journey was shaping up to be like, this one, I think he's got something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And moving from there, and I guess also, in the Val, back then,
it was very Afrikaans.
Very Afrikaans,
Yeah.
and the type of industries established there. We went on a recent tour in the Val, and we were taken through, almost by Val, the Pont de Val, there, a whole strip where actually Verwoerd stayed and all his ministers. So it's literally a strip along the Val River and the Baitsegetsi, nicely. And now to have a university of a higher education institution in there, which in its way opens up for activism, because you get different people, and I guess that started shaping also the area. From appreciating what it is, and not necessarily living in the Val, but studying and working in the Val, comparing it to your Foslo area, your reflection on the two spaces.
Oh, very different. The Val, do you call them Valerians?
Yeah, the Valleys.
The valleys.
Yeah.
Because ho tshwana le Sesotho sa ko sa Sharpeville le sa Sebokeng ha se tshwane le Sesotho sa ko Vosloorus.
Okay.
So like how even the accent is not the same.
Yeah.
But immediately when someone speaks, you can pick up this is from the Val.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and also the dynamics were very different. But I remember Sebokeng was known to be like the party area. Sharpeville has got its own political story, which was beautiful. And I think when you merge the two, because the good part, I did not actually live in the Val.
Yeah.
I was studying in the Val.
Yes.
So my time was like the only time I was living in a mission house, faith mission. I'd wake up in the morning, take my bags, literally go to university, come back and do that. And that was it.
Yeah.
And no social engagements and other things. I was just like, I know what I'm here, why I'm here. And then when I was lecturing, I was living with friends of mine in, what is it? It's not Salt River. What is it? Some river.
Okay.
There, like close to
the Val River.
To the university, and the culture there was like, that's when the black people were starting to be appreciated and welcomed in the suburbs.
Spaces.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then our neighbors were all white, and then the lecturer that was my colleague, then my lecturer when. The Afrikaans lady that I fought with, we ended up being good friends actually.
Yeah.
And when I commuted from from home. She was staying in the same community, same house, same community.
Yeah.
We would commute together.
Together to campus.
And we became like a really, really beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful people. Because ultimately we had to work together.
No, but
After I fought with
Yes.
you, we ended, and
Having
also,
to
but she also loved my aesthetic
But
as well.
also you kind of like asset yourself. And,
Absolutely.
And now she knew that this is not a walkover a person. And
Yeah.
like, so Dave, let's move to, before we take a short ad break, let's move to you now getting into the CBD. But maybe before that, establishing the David Tlale fashion brand.
Sure.
Just the journey and now, armed with all this, a little bit of audit, a little bit of everything and the gears and the activism in you. Will you say even when shaping up this or conceptualizing this, that characteristics will end up now showing through your brand? There's power in your brand. There's activism in your brand without saying it loud. Will you say what you went through ultimately helped in shaping the brand's outlook?
I think absolutely it had everything to do with where we are right now. Because if I was a timid young designer and just like say yes, boss, and this and that, I don't think I'd be where I am. I'm not saying this in a fighting spirit, but it was a very humble yet activism, but very assertive, knowing exactly where we're going. And I always say to people, I mean, my journey, I always say, how much time do you have? Because my journey is way too long.
Yeah.
Been doing this for 22 years on a full-time basis, 4.5 years of lecturing and 4 years of study. So we can easily say
Almost
30 years.
3 decades.
3 decades of being in the industry. So it's been a beautiful journey. Establishing David Tlale from Foskloras, because while I was lecturing, I was doing part-time jobs, and I built myself like a beautiful bedroom, 2-bedroom outside, and then I had my studio from there. And the more you get to do this, you realize like there's a bigger calling for you for this. And I was like, I'm not going to be David Tlale or Rokanko Fosklo. And also because our industry was like still very small, because how Rokanko Fosklo was just a dressmaker. That was it.
And the weddings.
Exactly, and then with the alteration,
There
and I'm like,
That's
that's not. I didn't study for 4 years to be doing this. And also then in 2003, then I moved out of home and I started living in Kelvin for about 2 years. I was working from home then, and then I moved to Rosebank. You remember the Galleria?
Yes,
it
the
was
Galleria.
next to the Sunday Times head office,
there,
underground in the parking lot. We had our first offices there, and then we moved to the Rosebank Fire Station, went back to Parktown North next door to Gallery Momo, which was a beautiful journey.
Space,
and then come 2009, we moved to Bram across the Nelson Mandela Bridge, which was a big inspiration for us to have the Nelson Mandela Bridge showcase in 2011. And then slowly we moved to Maboneng when Maboneng was coming up. We were there 5 years, and then came back into Marshalltown in Iggy's building, and then we were in the Rent Club, and now we are in the Barbican, and it's a really beautiful space. And I always say, nothing beats the soul of the city of Joburg. Nothing beats that. People are like, why do you work in the city? I'm like, have you ever been into the city? The city life is the most amazing. It's got its own character. It's got its own souls. And it's got these people that actually make the city to be beautiful. It almost looks like you would be like in New York anytime. The people that come into the city, they make the city. Come nighttime, they go back to their respective homes. And there's these are
withdrawal of energy.
Which is so beautiful. Because I've lived in the city for so many years. And those people, when they finish working, they go back, and then now you see the beauty of the city. And I think where we are right now, working and doing all this work around Johannesburg, I think it's time that we need to rebuild it, reposition it, and make sure that it becomes that global phenomenon that we used to be
Absolutely.
many years ago.
Many years
Clean
ago.
our streets, make sure
Lighting.
that systems work, the lighting is working. And I think, I've just joined Josie.
Oh, lovely.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to be...
We're actually having Dawn now coming through.
Oh,
so that's great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
So we've just joined them. Unfortunately, I couldn't come to the Babizebonke because I was traveling.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, with all these initiatives that we have of reshaping Johannesburg, it's very important that we start telling these stories
Ourselves.
When I was in university, I remember there was a restaurant in Melville, Cat's Pyjamas.
Yes.
We would leave campus on Friday afternoon and go back to campus on Saturday afternoon.
Just for that
Just for
experience.
Cat's Pyjamas.
Yeah.
And then there was whole beautiful clubbing on Juta Street.
Yes.
That used to happen. There was a club called Therapy. We used to literally just live at Therapy. On a Thursday night and a Friday, it would be like the place to be at.
Yeah.
We need to bring that back.
So Dave, and still speaking about your business and locating in the CBD and the energy that is being brought by the people, because I guess it's not just the energy, it's also where you draw your own inspiration, because you get to see so many people in their different forms, and as they go through their own business, and others, in any other major city. So you have traveled. Many fashion cities or creative cities are actually shaped around the CBD.
Of course.
You want to see the fashion district in Milan, you go to town.
Absolutely.
The emergence of, and I guess it might have to do with also spatial planning, how we all know the story of Hillbrow, how it was sabotaged because of its racial composition, and Sandton got built, and the city center got neglected.
Yeah.
But the people that makes the city and the institutions that are in the city, how important is it beyond just the municipalities, the provincial structures, the businesses around the city? In other cities, I don't think people even know where is the Milan municipality office, or the regional government, but they will know the big brands that are responsible.
Yeah.
Your views on how corporate South Africa could play its role in shaping back Johannesburg CBD to what it used to be?
Baba, I'm glad you're asking me that, because I always say we know what brought South Africans and also our neighboring countries to come to live in Johannesburg. It is a city of gold.
Absolutely.
We have built friends and relatives just because of people left now Gqeberha, KZN to come, Egoli, to come and make a living before all these suburbs were built around us. And I feel like it is very important for us to realize what a CBD entails, what it possesses. Number one, our architecture in the city of Joburg is so beautiful. It just needs to be maintained. It needs to be cleaned. It needs to make sure that it's safe again.
Absolutely.
Most corporates, they've moved out of the city because of crime. And I'm like, you've went to another suburb. Now crime is starting to be on a high. And now what are you going to do? Now, it is our responsibility as business owners in the private sector and also with the government that is based here. We got to make sure that we make the city of Joburg alive again. We can build it. If you neglect, say, for instance, you live in your own house and you don't paint the house, you know, gardening, obviously it's going to dilapidate. So it's very important that...
Do you leave it and go build another one?
You don't. You have to make sure that you fix it. So from the city managers, city planners, the mayors, and everybody, every person that is involved in Gauteng, we gotta make sure that we take the
Our
city
CBDs.
like with pride and treat them with pride.
Absolutely.
And it's not about the crime. It's about the mindset. Because if you don't see the future in what's going around you, it's a very big problem.
Absolutely.
So if you, and also just as, I don't think we realize the importance of it all starts with you. If you're in a taxi or driving in a car or in an Uber, you open your window and throw paper throughout through the window. What are you saying? It means you're careless.
Yeah.
So how do you expect the city that you work in to be clean?
100.
Because you make it dirty.
Yourself.
If you are looking to use a restroom, you as a guy in the middle,
then
you just
you are
stop there in the wall against the wall. Like, do you do that in your house? You don't. Why are you doing it to the city? So we need to bring back the pride of the city. We need to bring back the integrity of what the city of Joburg has been able to build over years.
Yeah.
And do we have it? Yes, we do. We just need to make sure that we have leaders in the city that actually understand the power of the economy that we have in here. As you've said, been blessed to be traveling all over the world. Paris, London, New York, you say it.
Yeah.
Those people, they take pride in their cities. They clean them. They understand why there is so much tourism that comes in a city.
Into the city.
You go to Paris. The only thing that takes you to Paris, is the Eiffel Tower.
Absolutely.
What do we have in Johannesburg?
So much.
Exactly.
So much.
So all those things, we need to advocate for them. We gotta make our streets safe again. We gotta make sure that corporate sector, as much as they have flown away to the suburb, they need to come back.
Yeah.
Because if you count, there was a time whereby the M2 and M1 was being fixed.
Yes, I remember.
The traffic that was going through the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it was millions of people
millions
per day.
of people, yeah.
Now, you understand, that makes you realize how many people actually need the city.
Absolutely. So you can imagine now, if you put up a proper public transport infrastructure.
Absolutely.
We used to have the REMS. I remember there was a monorail project that was going to get into the city. And as people get into the city, it's business.
Absolutely.
It's inspiration. There's revenue for the city. So everybody is able to collect taxes. There is able to collect, and there's beneficiation for everyone. Before we go on a short break, so from Kelvin to Rosebank and into the city, do you see a David Tlale reincarnated fashion route?
Absolutely, because when I was in university, I came to the Oriental Plaza to buy my fabric.
Yeah.
And I walked from Noord all the way to and with no harm, nothing. With my fabrics and everything else, I'm like, I want to experience the city. Passing through the Markets Theatre was always a joy.
Yeah.
And then also just like literally just going through and taking the energy of the city. Yeah. It was pure joy. And people were like, why do you work in the city? I'm like, it's because there is something beautiful that happens in the city. I see my customers, I see my friends, I see my potential customers, I see kids that go to school. When you walk in the city, like, oh my God, that's David Tlale. You're inspiring that child 100. One day to say, I want to be like him. So reincarnation of David Tlale, absolutely, because like you said earlier, most of big houses or in fashion brands, whether Milan, Paris, whatever, they are based in the city.
Localized.
They localized, and also it is very important for us to understand as employers, that the team that we work with, they cannot be suffering to travel for 3-4 hours to get to the suburb. They all commute from whatever township they come into the city. Yeah. Why not build here?
Absolutely.
It becomes much easier because this is a connecting hub. So it becomes much easier for people to come to work, get back to home on time, instead of my travel to get to work is about 3 hours every day, one way.
Our cities are livable spaces. They are supposed to be inspirational spaces. We need to be able to live, work, and play in our cities. Let's have a look at this short insert as we take a short break about city living.
Welcome to Gauteng, a golden city region pulsating with the rhythm of its bustling streets, from Soweto's Vilakazi Street to Tweru and Mamelodi. In these streets, we connect people, weaving through the lively energy. Here, food tastes of Africa in every bite. Roll the true #GP lifestyle way with Mogodu Monday. Amashisa nyama kwa mai. Starry skies and city lights ignite. Sip sundowners and enjoy fine dining at Desabline, Kodi rooftops. Sentence Sandek, Maboning Premium Lifestyle Rooftop, Lepo Biblos Cafe. It's a vibe. This is Gauteng.
Welcome back to Gauteng Lifve, the platform where we share, tell, and advocate for everything #GP lifestyle. And I am joined again by my guest, a person who exudes everything GP lifestyle, not just in the fashion sense, but also in the energy, the vision, and the tenacity that characterize almost 30 years of experience in the fashion industry. David, before we went on a break, we were talking about, sipping the energy and the ability for spaces to also take care of itself. I've always insisted that the community there at Vilakazi Street, they will be the first people to apprehend anybody who snatches a bag from a tourist.
Absolutely.
Because they have seen the benefit of tourism. They have sent their kids to school out of the proceeds of tourism. The way we are structured in our cities, it also, and again, as a result of structural planning, start taking us out because of where we are living. So, and for me, it's a worry because it almost entrench apartheid settlement. So cities are for work, townships are for
living,
for
sleeping, actually. Yeah.
And that on its own affect how you create almost a 24-hour city. With the high unemployment rate that we are facing, don't you think we should be able to have our cities as live-work play spaces, not live-work play in how it's done by some of the people that are not registered? You have unhygienic spaces and everything else, but a manner in which you take where you work as where you live. Therefore, the cleaning becomes almost interrelated.
Absolutely.
You are not looking at this place as somewhere I'll come to it tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it's very important what you're talking about, Baba, is that, when, say for instance, think about it, the new age graduates, if they work in the city of Johannesburg, how beautiful it is. Like in New York, in Paris, you see someone just coming down out of their apartment, 10 minutes later, you are in your office. No transportation, no nothing. Yeah. You are there. You understand the power of eat, live, play, work in the same city. So it's very important that we start educating, because and this is my issue, whoever can say whatever, there is a big discrepancy between government and private sector. Private sector says when you are 60, you must be retiring.
Yeah.
And 65, you're like totally retired.
Yeah.
But in government, it's the other way around. When you're still 78 or 75, you're still running and working.
When you're 74, you are a mayor.
Well, and then my question is, there's a generational disconnect.
Yeah.
Because some of the people are still bitter and angry about apartheid. That's fine. We appreciate that. But how are you connecting the two worlds?
Yeah.
It means the younger people must be in power, because we understand the power of convenience.
100.
Because if I live and work in the city, all the stores are restaurants and everything, the nightlife is up and buzzing.
Yeah.
I will want to make sure that my city is great.
But you are also, that's your space, that's your terrain. You are not cushioned. You are young, you are youthful. You will want to go dining, you will want to go clubbing.
Absolutely.
You will want to cycle because your
body
your body allows for that. And that in itself almost refreshes the spaces in the city that you are living in.
And my take is that the people that run most of our offices in South Africa, sadly, it's just in Africa, it's retired people.
Yeah.
So that's why most of them, they actually sleep during the parliament hearing and stuff like that. And for me, it's just, we need to rewire and reset. And also, I did speak about this the other time. I'm like, if our government sets people who understand a particular industry, that they deploy a minister, it's very important. If you are going to be a minister of I'm going to talk about sports, arts, and culture, or you're going to be a minister of minerals or housing.
Yeah.
You should have been working in that ministry, in that industry,
Yeah.
in that space, and probably you'd have been an entrepreneur or something, because come the time you get into office, you've got 4 years. By the time you understand the systems, policies, and everything, it's time to go out. Then another person comes in who does not.
Starts from scratch.
From minister of X to minister of Z, and then now you don't even understand the policies of this industry. So I'm coming back to saying, if anyone, even our town planner or city planner, understands what actually goes on in the city of Joburg. Let's remove politics.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What are your capabilities? What is it that you understand about the current generation? Do you know how they live? Do you know where they work? I mean, industries have evolved, even way beyond my time.
100.
Some of these things now, because I also mentor a lot of young people, as you know, I'm saying, I don't understand TikTok. It's your thing.
Show me
how it works. Do I have the time? I don't. But get people who understand, because they are young. It's much more relatable to them. And I'm just saying to us, it's very important that we start pressing the reset button. Let's look at who runs our cities. Are they aware of the issues that are happening in the city? Daytime, nighttime, early morning. You know, there is a place, I'm not going to give them airtime. It's on Jan Smuts Avenue. Whether you're coming for a bar or a club at 3 a.m., this place is up and running.
Open.
It's packed to capacity. You can get your entire meal, and then by the time you get home, you are sorted. Does our city planner know? Does our city mayor know? Who are these people? Where do they go from here? Where do they come from? As they are all congregating in this place.
And how you enable them to be able to move.
Exactly.
Reliable and safe public transport, open facilities. I was looking at the recent Scorpion King concert. I'm not sure if you were in the country, but the Gauteng and the Plaza system ran until 2 o'clock in the morning.
Why can't we have that on a continuous
people
basis?
Were able to move. So Dave, let's trace back all this, and with all these challenges that we're facing, and the huge opportunities that are there in front of us, if we were to clean, will you say this shaped your design philosophy? And you touch a little bit on the back then, and you being the trouble rouser you are, where nobody thought a bridge can be a ramp. You were out there, you know, when they were telling you all that it's not possible, when they were giving you all the reasons, all the no's, you made sure that happens. You still stayed in the city. Will you say your design philosophy is also inspired by the opportunities that are in the city?
Absolutely.
And how do we then reuse that one to drive brand recall, to drive visitation and inspiration into our city, and make sure that a person can't live without a piece of David Tlale, item as a representation of them being in Johannesburg.
I think that's what I said earlier on. There's a lot of things that needs to happen. First of all, we need to look at our leadership, and then there's going to be a lot of education that needs to happen, because we need to teach people to unlearn that Johannesburg is not safe, and teach them that actually Johannesburg is very safe and it's an economic hub.
Yes.
And it is one of the most, you can look at it, find Cape Town, ocean, Table Mountain, wonderful. Come to Johannesburg, we've got soul. You come to Gauteng, we've got soul.
The soul.
We need to speak about this soul. We need to teach people about this soul, because we engage with a lot of people. Americans, Europeans, you name it. They're like, oh, we're in Cape Town, beautiful scenario and everything else, but there's something beautiful about Johannesburg. We are that people.
100.
We are a very cosmopolitan city, or even province, and wherever you go, you're going to see cross-culture, cross-race, and people who are just like go-getters.
And the energy when you walk.
Energy is amazing. So what I'm trying to say is that what we do as the House of David Tlale it's totally and 100% dependent on the city of Johannesburg. And yes, we have built offices in New York, and now we're like, let's come back, let's focus, let's recenter and bring the energy back again in South Africa, or specifically in Gauteng, because that's where I reside and that's where I work. So our responsibility is, how do we then forge relationships with these people that are sitting in power to say, come visit me, go visit Laduma at Maxhosa, go and visit Tebe Magugu, go and visit Black Coffee's studios. Go and visit Mansu, go Victoria Yards, and see what we do. Because the creative sector is the most powerful advocate for any tourism in this country.
Not just tourism, David. I always say there's the executive, there's the legislature.
Absolutely.
And then there's the judiciary, there's the media, and then there's the creative sector. So the powers lies in this.
In these five.
Exactly. Across the board, whether it's political power, whether it's economic power, whether it's cultural currency, lies,
within these 5 pillars,
lies within in these 5 pillars.
And for me is that let's use them. Let's use these pillars. Let's partner with the city of Joburg. Let's partner with the Gauteng government. Because when we leave our country, the first thing I do, my name is David Tlale. I'm a fashion designer based in Johannesburg, South Africa.
So, are we going to see anytime soon? And I guess with the collaboration with Josie, my Josie, so my David Tlale label, David Tlale Joburg.
You're going to see it
at the back.
There's going to be beautiful things that you're going to be
because
doing.
I see Tommy Hilton, London.
Yeah.
I see Paris.
I love Paris. I love London.
But I'm saying even in
the
the label itself, there's a city that is embedded there. So people even think the name ends with London. So it's a full name.
Exactly. It's not.
Yeah. It's not even that.
It's
city.
not UK.
Yeah. It's not even that city. It's Paris, Hilton, London, or Thompson, whatever name there. And for me, that becomes the subtle and easiest way. And Honorable Dada Morero holds these garments, the mayor of New Jersey visiting, and gifts that as a token of appreciation. When the New Jersey mayor drives around was this wearing Joburg, on the sleeves, but this doesn't look like a government T-shirt.
Yes,
that it's
so
a freebie.
Baba, there's a lot of things that needs to be involved here. There's a lot of partnership. There's a lot of collaboration that needs to happen. 100%. I mean, you spoke about the 5 pillars, but we have the music, we have fashion, we have the arts, then we have tourism, we have the legislature, you said it,
100.
And we have Brand South Africa. All of us, we must come together to say, why are we working in our own small pockets? Whereas in Johannesburg only, you've got a powerhouse of people that can actually carry your messaging. And when you power with the likes of David Tlale, Laduma, Tebe Magugu, Rich Mnisi, Lizanne Fivers, you name it.
Yeah.
You have us.
Yeah.
Work with us. Partner with us. Come and see what we do. Yeah. When you have this weekend is there's a Joy of Jazz happening.
Absolutely.
It's Joy of Jazz on its own. Where's the rest of the creative sector? We had the Delicious Festival over the weekend. We saw snippets of some work coming through.
Absolutely.
But we need to see a lot of that.
Consistency. I mean that's Gogo. I mean, I think Lauren Hill looks.
No, she looked absolutely.
With
Tebet, like they killed it.
They nailed it.
All I'm saying is, let it not be like Christmas.
Yes.
Let it be our lifestyle.
Consistent.
When we see there's a concert anywhere else, let that artist partner with a designer. Because already the sound and lighting is made in South Africa.
I get you, David.
Let it be every weekend. And besides that, for us to saying we are proudly South Africans, or we are proudly people from Gauteng, or we're proudly from Jozi, let it be my responsibility to ask myself when I leave this house, who am I wearing?
Absolutely.
What am I wearing? And how am I advocating for the economy of just the GDP of Gauteng?
So on Monday, there was a start of a science and innovation G20 session in the CSI in Pretoria. and on the backdrop of a delicious festival. So I'm coming from a very high octane music, food, and you're going to a very heavy discussion on science
exactly.
and innovation. And I guess the consistency you are referring to will be even those that are in the panelists there.
They need to be wearing
science
South Africa.
and innovation, but not just wearing South Africa, discussing the scientific innovation of fashion and music.
Absolutely.
And how that gets engendered in there. And the exhibitions that are outside that are showcasing, who's showcasing there. In the Gauteng, I know they are launching very soon art in transit inside the trains and the like, where you start seeing different arts and the like. And I guess that's how you then mainstream the creative power in all the facets, in all the touch points, so that you don't reduce it to a market on a Saturday.
Yeah, so that's what for me is that, I always say to people, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people are not working.
Yeah.
People are working, but in their own little pockets. It's not a united vision to say, our vision of Gauteng or Johannesburg is to say in 2026 or 2027, we want to make sure that our heroes that are doing great works internationally and locally, we've partnered with them.
Yeah.
We actually support whatever they are doing, because your narrative becomes much easier. Your story becomes much easier to just like go viral globally.
100.
We go to Paris, New York, London, Shanghai. We've just showcased in Moscow. And I'm saying is there are lost opportunities.
Yeah.
Why? Because every time they see David Tlale, he's in Paris. Oh, like, well, we are so proud of you. Well done.
Yeah.
Question is, you should have partnered with.
Before
Exactly.
they even ask you how much it will
but
cost.
what tour?
Yeah, already they've made that.
But
that
also for me,
conclusion.
Dada, is that, if you partner with us, your messaging goes a long way.
100.
And it's not always monetary. It's about services that we can barter with each other. And obviously, we got to get paid at some point for the work that we
100.
do. But for me is that these entities, they are fighting their own battle. They're trying to reinvent the wheel. We are some of the people that have run.
The energy, the drivers are there already.
Exactly.
And government needs to. But I guess also, David, this brings also, like we spoke earlier on, the role of the private sector when everybody comes on board. Earlier on, we were speaking about how Sandton got built and Joburg and CBD got elected and Hillbrow. And now everybody's moving to Steyn City and
it won't be long, they'll be coming back.
Other side. But for me, it becomes how then do we... So let's take, for example, the David Tlale intern reality show program that we had around being deliberate about building the second layer.
Yes.
But also inspiring. At what point do we have creative agencies, media houses doing commercials for all these big businesses that are in Sandton, incorporating our indigenous heritage story, so that you can see that this might be a big company, a medical aid company that owns a large building in Sandton, but that includes our heritage and a showcase, and you are able to implant Sandton there. But there lies an opportunity for young people in that creative production of that ad. So the intent and the learning is not just through the David Tlale intern reality show. Everything is anchored around that. But the importance of having this spaces and opportunities given to young people to explore, to fail forward, and how we could make this an integral feature of how private and public sector operates.
That's very powerful, because government is there for policies. Even private sector, they've got their own policies. But we've got to find a point whereby we all merge so that we can have a winning formula for ourselves. And to build a city is not only a government responsibility, it's also private sector and the public at large. A few weeks ago, celebrating the reopening of the Johannesburg Library, which is absolutely fantastic.
Beautiful.
Josie Majosi have made sure that the Nelson Mandela Bridge, it's lit again, it's up and running. So that's an effort of private sector mostly. And then the public sector are busy politics instead of making sure that we deliver, which is like, where are we? What are we doing? Are we have we forgotten that if you're a civil servant, what does it mean? Do you understand?
Gotcha.
And that's why our cities are dilapidating, because it's no longer about I want to improve my community where I come from. It's about I just want everything for myself. So it's very important that both parties come in, we work together. We are 30 years, 3 decades plus into democracy. Are we going to be still talking the same language in 5 years?
Yeah.
Are we going to still be fighting for Joburg to come back?
Yeah.
It should be a no-brainer that Joburg is one of the best cities in the world. We can do that.
We can do that.
If we used to have Carlton Hotel coming back, imagine the tourism that will be.
We used to have day disco.
Exactly.
That now characterize the events and the spaces that
Absolutely.
we currently have with this day partying after COVID.
Yes,
But that has always been, with the movies and the parties
it's
at
just that
Carlton
people
Center.
don't know.
Yeah.
We need to bring back those things. And for me, it's just saying, as a citizen of Gauteng, as a citizen of Johannesburg, I want to see Johannesburg becoming like that golden girl again, shining beyond anyone else.
Polishing
And just like making
the diamonds and the gold that are underneath now housed in our people. So will we see the another version of the intern?
Yeah, we're still looking for partnership and a lot of money because, you saw how we curated the intern by David Tlale.
Beautiful.
So it's educational in tourism, but some people then, I'm not pointing names, were very short-sighted.
Yeah.
When you say, we want to shoot and eliminate contestants in different spaces that are iconic
100.
in Johannesburg. They're like, but we don't see it. I'm like,
missing the point.
Lord have mercy on us.
But also, I can't always be seeing this same space
every day.
Every day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we are hopeful, and hopefully that in 2026 the intern comes back on our big screens and making sure that we make it amazing again. Because
but also there's your skills development fund, your CETAs.
Yes.
And I know they watch and listen to this platform. There lies an opportunity, but also where you are able to use the case study exists.
Yeah. It's there.
It's there. It exists.
It's no longer a pilot.
It's no longer a pilot.
Yes.
It's a reality.
Yes.
And it can only get better.
Absolutely.
Moving from the resource base that are there and the challenges of unemployment, and not just unemployment, young people that don't have any experience.
Yeah. Where we are right now, Baba, is that we are at a space of really making sure that we are part of the change drivers, we are bringing 100 learners under our banner to give them skills within the clothing and textile industry. And this is a part when we are trying to get private sector and government to come on board and work with us. And there's one thing that I'd like to I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to look into this camera. Yeah. When you think of David Tlale, don't think that he's got it all figured out. It's just that we know how to curate and package a brand.
Absolutely.
We do need help. We do need assistance from government, from private sector, so that we can be able to fly. Absolutely. And all the work that we do, we don't do it for David Tlale. We do it for our country. We do it for our city. So as we're moving into this space of building a skill-based training center, we don't charge people to come and learn. We just give them skills.
Yeah. You usually offer your own resources.
Our own resources.
Yeah.
Like right now, we are almost sitting at 100, and we want to make sure that at least within the next 3 years, we have trained at least 10,000 people within the clothing and textile industry. Because the one thing that has happened is that over the years, universities chain out designers.
Yes.
And also the intern has chained out designers, but no laborers. So that's why we have a big issue of unemployment. Mm-hmm. And when we start understanding the power of the clothing and textile industry, how we can change and fight.
And the volumes.
Exactly, from raw materials into manufacturing and distribution. The East has nothing on us.
Yeah.
And people don't know that the East, they thrive on trying to flood everything that's cheap here. Because why? they do not want us as Africans to understand manufacturing.
Absolutely.
Now we always entice by this cheap price point, so that by the time you realize it's too late because they've taken over the country.
Yeah.
So it's very important to, like, while all this cheap clothing and cheap whatever is happening, pay attention, guys. We are being blinded because our manufacturing skills are being taken away from us. Our factories are being shut down. People are being unemployed on a daily basis. Poverty is on a rise. And when people are poor, they do what? They end up to crime because they are desperate. So we need to change that game. Our responsibility is to make sure, let us reignite manufacturing from raw materials to technology, engineering, manufacturing, everything that we need to do, let us reignite it because it is our responsibility.
So on that 100, David, and I want to also challenge the tourism sector, the visitor economy, the hospitality, the private sector to take up this. So we at Visit Gauteng, at Gauteng Tourism Authority, we want to train at least 5 of the 100.
Okay, thank you.
On tourism experiences, tour guiding, quality assurance, so that you ask them where's the apartheid museum, they know, which becomes an added skill.
Okay.
Almost like when you are in New York and you take a picture with the
Statue of Liberty
or NYPD officer.
Exactly, yeah.
They become the most friendliest of the police officers, while we know American police are not friendly.
Yeah.
But you can see it's something that is organized.
Yes.
So, and then you can imagine if others come in and say, we will also take 10, that we are going to add on top of the skill that you are giving this.
Okay.
Ultimately, this 100 becomes multidimensional.
Absolutely.
Skilled. Others will say, will help you with digital technology or digital marketing aspect. So I want to commit on behalf of Visit Gauteng that we will take the 5.
Thank you.
Partner with you to get them to the level of understanding the destination. What does it mean? And even get them the badge and the certification that they need. And the challenge is extended to all the partners, the corporates that are out there, to also join the feed. David, as we wrap up, before we wrap up, this is quiz time. And quiz time, we want you, our viewers, those that are listening, to stand a chance to win some of the fabulous prizes as we mark spring to summer period in the Golden Province of Gauteng. And our quiz for this show is, we spoke about it in the show, what was David Tlale's show, reality TV show called? Once again, what was the show that David Tlale did as a reality TV called? Send your answers to Gauteng Lifve at gauteng.net, Gauteng Lifve at gauteng.net, and stand a chance to win some of the fabulous prizes as we move into spring and summer, celebrating our richness and our golden province. Dave, as we wrap up, I know you have done so many iconic things. We spoke about the buildings. We spoke about the rent club. Still fascinated about that space and, the architectural stuff. I know me and you have been discussing for years now. I still want to see a David Tlale line on the Gautrain. Moving from
so much pressure.
Moving from Park Station and getting into Rosebank, we changed the line. And all the time, and I know the Gautrain people are watching this, and it's Transport Month, so let's get it going. But what's in store? I know you are always looking at that magical, but also, are we going to see some of the repackaging of the stuff that has been done? Because we're speaking about David Tlale show on the Mandela Bridge, but the current generation beta or whatever they are called, Generation Z, might not even know about
what that means.
So how do we also, as part of telling and sharing this Josie My Josie story, reuse some of that content to drive this inspiration, but equally produce fresh stuff? And what is in store?
There's quite a lot in store right now. Within the program that we're running, with the young people and also some matured people that we have, is that post this, we want to make sure that people have jobs. We want to make sure that some of them can actually take the next level of training, build their own brands from cushions, sheets, clothing, and so much that's going to happen. And I feel like into three decades into the industry, I feel like as the brand, or even me as a creative director for the House of David Tlale, my reset button has just kicked in.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's time to reinvent.
Yeah.
And also, but now it doesn't come with like that David that was trying then.
No.
It's David who understands the vision, who understands the value chain, how many people need to get a spin-off from this, in this whole thing. And also it's very, very much intentional, everything that we're doing. Yeah. There's a beautiful surprise that will come. Okay. I can't tell you nothing right now.
Okay. A little bit.
No, just follow the process. Okay. Which is going to be like really fantastic. But I did say our energy and everything that we're doing right now is focusing in South Africa, in the continent of Africa, and making sure that that first calling that I'd had to of being inspirational actually now just jumps up on steroids.
So reimagining the next 30 years.
Absolutely. And also how do we, it's a good thing that we're speaking on this platform. How do we reposition the creative hub of Gauteng? Absolutely. How do we reposition Johannesburg to be the place? You know, my vision and my dream, Baba, is that one of the years to come, we should have that long street vibe, not long street, but
I get
a long street.
Yeah.
If we have to reignite small street to bring back luxury of South African product.
But if you move from our offices there in Marshalltown up until the backpacking, with those redevelopment and the water slide.
It's there, but it's not curated the way it's supposed to be.
No, let's get it done.
We need to get it done.
Let's get it done. Yeah. David, your take on SA Fashion Week and its sabbatical?
I don't think I'm the one to comment, but I think, based on their press statement to say it's realignment of vision and everything else, it's been around 28 years. Most of us, we birthed our brands on their platform. And I think it's also, probably they'll come up with something new, something fresh. And I think I support Lucilla's vision. And in terms of wanting to say, let's look within, let's restructure, let's regroup so that we can get to the next level. It's a bit unfortunate that, fashion in South Africa is kind of like going on a dip. We need to come back. We need to rebuild this industry.
Definitely, you can count on us at Visit Gauteng. The platforms exist. The storytelling opportunities is quite huge there. We are concluding Tourism and Heritage Month. Your favorite food in Gauteng, and where do you get it?
Sure. I love food in Gauteng. I eat everywhere.
Yeah, but your favorite, you can't have everything being your favorite.
No, I'm a foodie, Baba. Okay, I love. Do you want me to give props to a restaurant or something?
Your favorite food.
My favorite food.
And where do you get it?
Well, where I get it comes with a plug of the restaurant. But anyway, my favorite, very favorite in South Africa is our red meat.
Okay.
And I get it in different places. But there's one amazing restaurant that I get it from. It's in Melrose Arch, where our outlet is. Yeah. And it's called Sebule. And the list goes on. And
I saw that restaurant, there's a very potent drink. I don't know what is in there, but I can tell you there's some red wine and then some vodka and other coloring things. And I look at this drink, and only when I look at the label and I saw powered by David, I said, now I understand why all this concoction is.
Well, I'm a creative. And I love cooking, and I'm also creative with other things. So I love Sebule for the fact that we also did their uniforms, which is really, really beautiful.
No, that's a very powerful
And also for me,
there.
it's a collaborative effort within Melrose Arch and also other retailers within the space. I really love food from Gofos Lora's Anka's Kitchen. They used to be in Marshalltown. Sadly, they had to close. We need them to come back. I love our traditional food, like really. I think the other Sunday, I ordered the whole thing, like different meals. And I just feel like she needs to come back to the city because her
and you were
food
feasting
is
with
still,
all this.
it was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And also it's just a matter of, you guys, we need to appreciate what we have in South Africa.
Yeah.
Thank God we travel extensively. There is nothing as beautiful as getting home and just having pap wors le chakalaka.
Your favorite song or one song that in your view represent the tenacity, the energy, the spirit, the color, the flair, the zeal, the determination of the Golden Province of Gauteng?
One song.
One song.
Bongeni Gema, Stimela Samsa Sezola.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this stimula is grinding, is moving forward.
Every
It's
day.
putting people in, it's taking them back from work, is grinding, is
It
moving
doesn't matter
forward.
where you play the song. Once you hear the kacha, 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 kacha,
Yeah.
when you hear that beat, you know, you can see the people in the room
Yeah.
just like
And then lighting up.
lighting up. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, he talks about Aroshet, Commissioner Street,
Yeah.
He talks about the soul of Johannesburg.
Absolutely.
And I think that's one song that really goes a long way. I can go on. I mean, like Brenda Fassie, Weekend Special, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, yeah.
That is a song, Stimela Sasezola, where in it David clearly explains it that there is so much about the city, the energy, the zeal, and the determination. Please share with us your favorite songs that characterize Gauteng. Help us create a playlist of the songs that represent Gauteng. And guess what? You might have an opportunity to win with some of our partners, but also give an opportunity to young artists, talent that is out there, to start also creating the second layer songs about their golden city and the golden province. And that's how we share and tell our story. That has been another fascinating edition of Gauteng Lifve. Don't forget to subscribe on our podcast channel. Also, at Visit Gauteng on Instagram, on TikTok. We are at I Love Gauteng on Facebook. Until the next episode, second round.